A leopard is 40 yards out, moving through the trees, and you can't see it. Not really, just a shape that dissolves the moment you focus on it. A flicker between branches, two pale points where the eyes catch what little light there is. Then nothing again. But it can see you. The angle of your body, the turn of your head, the half step you take backward without meaning to. It sees you freeze. It sees you guess wrong about which way to run. For most animals, night isn't a handicap. It's just a different shift. So why are humans this bad at it? And once you ask that, a nastier question shows up right behind it. How did an animal this blind in the dark survive long enough to take over the planet? The easy answer is lamps, houses, cities, screens, that modern comfort made our eyes lazy. It's a clean story, it's also wrong. Humans didn't fall from some cat-like nocturnal peak into modern softness. Next to a real night specialist, our eyes have always been mediocre. The mystery isn't when we lost night vision. It's why our ancestors stopped needing it badly enough to keep it. And for that, you have to go back before humans, before apes even, to a world where daylight was the dangerous part of the day. For a long stretch of early mammal history, the day belonged to the dinosaurs. A small furry creature the size of a rat did not want to be noticed in the sun, because noticed meant eaten. So mammals moved into the dark, what paleontologists call the nocturnal bottleneck. Our deep ancestors survived by becoming creatures of the night, and your eyes still carry the receipts. Human retinas run on two kinds of photoreceptors: cones, which give you color and sharp detail but need plenty of light, and rods, which work in the dark but hand you a blurrier, nearly colorless picture. True nocturnal animals lean hard into the rod side of that trade. Oversized eyes, wide pupils, retinas built for catching every stray photon, and often a mirror-like layer behind the retina called the tapetum lucidum. That's the reason a cat's eyes flash in your headlights. Light passes through the retina, bounces off that layer, and gets a second chance to be detected. Humans have none of it. No tapetum, no giant night-tuned eyes, no slit pupils, no hidden dark mode we just forgot to switch on. At some point, our lineage stopped investing in darkness and put the budget somewhere else entirely. You can watch that shift happen in primates specifically. Most mammals are dichromats. Their color sense is limited. A lot of primates evolved something sharper, the ability to split red from green. Ask what that's worth in near total darkness, and the honest answer is almost nothing. Color is metabolically expensive, and in low light, it stops paying rent almost immediately. So if evolution is willing to spend on richer color vision, it's betting on an animal doing serious work during the day. Picture an ancestor scanning a wall of green canopy for a reddish fruit, or for young leaves carrying that same reddish tint. Better color discrimination means finding calories faster and wasting less time on dead ends. That's a real advantage, but only in daylight. This is also where people misread evolution. It isn't a machine stacking up abilities forever. Better smell plus better hearing plus better night vision plus better everything, like a species collecting upgrades. Bodies run on trade-offs, and eyes especially so. Chase excellent night vision, and you sacrifice detail. Chase vivid color, and you sacrifice low light sensitivity. Primates picked the second path, and once they did, midnight stopped being their moment. Then the trade sharpened further. An ancestor moving through branches at midday needs exact distances and exact edges. Miss the next branch by an inch, and you don't just look clumsy, you fall. That kind of life rewards forward-facing eyes with overlapping fields of view, real depth perception, a brain tuned to judge position and reach with precision. All of it is brilliant for a cluttered, well-lit world. None of it turns you into an owl. And there was one more pressure stacked on top. Other primates. Where many mammals lean on smell, primates leaned harder on sight. Faces, eyes, gaze direction, a tightening around the mouth, a flash of fear, a flicker of interest or submission or recognition. All of that is visual information, and almost all of it reads best in daylight. By the time apes show up, and much later hominins, this is already an old story. We didn't suddenly get bad at seeing in the dark. We inherited a visual system that had already been rebuilt for a different world entirely. Here's the catch. If our ancestors really were this poorly equipped for darkness, prehistoric nights should have killed us off fast. No streetlights, no walls, predators circling the camp, uneven ground, children to protect, a moonless sky turning the whole world into silhouette. So why didn't it? Part of the answer is simple. We're diurnal, built mainly for daylight, same as most primates. Evolution doesn't need to make you good at everything, only at the conditions you actually spend your life in. We were never failed nocturnal hunters. We were, and are, successful daytime apes. That solves part of the problem. It doesn't solve all of it, because daylight ends, and when it does, the human body gets genuinely vulnerable. Pupils dilate, the rod system takes over, and if you sit in darkness for 20 or 30 minutes, your sensitivity does improve, more than most people expect. A human under starlight can move far better than someone who just walked out of a lit room. Still nowhere close to a real nocturnal animal, though. A cat functions in light levels that leave us nearly useless. An owl detects prey in conditions that feel like closed-eye darkness to us, often stacking that vision with hearing and whiskers and movement sense that make night cheap for them and expensive for us. Humans never got that package. So our ancestors needed a different answer, and they built one, not in the eye, but around it. Fire is the obvious piece. It doesn't give anyone leopard eyes, but it changes the math anyway. A small island of visibility, a boundary some predators respect, enough light to see faces and hands and tools and wounds and the ground directly underfoot. For a species with weak night vision, that's a genuine transformation. But fire alone doesn't cover a person standing outside its circle. The deeper fix was social, not physical. Humans deal with bad claws, bad teeth, mediocre speed, and weak night vision the same way, collectively. A leopard sees better than any one of us. It does not see better than 20 alert people with spears, memory, fire, and the habit of sleeping in a group. Across most of what makes our species work, where another animal solves a problem in its anatomy, we solve it in behavior. We outsource survival to cooperation, and nowhere does that pay off more than after dark. A sleeping camp is ears in every direction, bodies packed close, children in the middle, adults on the edge. Someone wakes at a sound. Someone feeds the embers. Someone remembers which gully to avoid in the dark, or knows exactly what it means when the dogs start reacting. Darkness stops being quite so deadly the moment you're not facing it alone. Then humans did something stranger still. We stopped just enduring the night and started using it. Once fire got reliable, the day stayed for movement and hunting and carrying and climbing, but night became its own thing. People sat close, talked, planned, fixed tools, watched the flames, told stories, taught the kids who they were. For most animals, night simply shuts life down. For us, fire carved part of it into social time, and that mattered for evolution too, because natural selection only pushes hard when failure is common and costly. Soften the danger with behavior, and the pressure to redesign the body eases off. Clothing cut the need for fur. Cooking cut the need for huge teeth and guts. Fire, group living, and daytime activity cut the need for elite night vision. By the time all that was in place, better night vision simply wasn't worth what it would cost anymore. Try designing the ideal human eye from scratch, and you'd want rich daytime color, fine detail for making tools, precise hand-eye coordination, real depth perception, fast tracking, sharp face reading, long-range scanning, and eventually, in our own species, the visual precision that throwing accurately demands. All of that needs a brain to process it, and that brain already burns an absurd amount of energy. Something has to give, which is why lost their night vision is a slightly misleading way to put it. It makes it sound like some ancient superpower slipped away through neglect. Specialization is closer to the truth. Our lineage traded investment in darkness for investment in a brighter, denser, more information-rich world, and that trade is part of what made us us. Tool making needs detail. Throwing needs timing. Moving through branches needs depth. Reading a face needs subtle visual discrimination. Foraging by day rewards color. The same visual system that leaves you half-blind at midnight is the one that makes you unusually capable at noon. Our eyes aren't broken cat eyes. They're ape eyes, pushed hard toward a distinctly human purpose, and you can watch the old compromise resurface every single evening. As light fades, color drains out first. Reds go flat. Edges soften, and the world collapses into gray shapes and motion. That's your rod system taking the wheel from your cones. Night vision in humans was never really absent. It's a backup mode. Good enough to walk carefully, good enough to notice movement, good enough to gather safely near a fire with other people around. Not good enough to ever make darkness our element. Then artificial light showed up and made the old weakness easy to forget. Candles, torches, lamps, streetlights, headlights, the phone in your hand right now. We keep dragging noon into midnight and wondering why our eyes never caught up. But they were never supposed to. We're descendants of mammals that survived the dark by hiding from it. Then primates that shifted toward daylight and never looked back. Then humans who used fire and each other to make the dark survivable instead of undefeatable. That's why real darkness, no moon, no cloud break, no light for miles, still feels wrong on some old, specific level. Your eyes search for edges and come up empty. The horizon disappears, trees turn into walls. Hearing gets louder because sight has stopped being trustworthy, and for a moment you're standing back inside that older world, where something just past the edge of what you can see isn't struggling nearly as much as you are. So why did humans lose their night vision? We didn't lose it so much as trade it. For daylight foraging, for color, for depth, for faces read at a glance, for tools, for fire shared in a circle of people who'd notice if you didn't come back. We never became rulers of the night. We became the animal that made it to morning together, while the leopard, 40 yards out, still sees us first.